Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Places in News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and in today's session we are going to discuss some important places that have been in news from the perspective of your exam. So let us begin with global places first, and amongst the global places, the first place that we are going to do today is Tuvalu. So Tuvalu has been in news for two very big reasons. First is the interaction that is happening with our country. Our Minister of State has gone to Tuvalu and they are holding talks so as to ensure better development in terms of trade and development between both of the countries. Second, Tuvalu being a low-lying island has always been in news that how it is threatened by the sea level rise. Now, when we talk about the location of this particular country, located in Central Pacific Ocean in the Polynesian Islands, and when we are talking about exact location, you can clearly see on one side we have Australia, on the other side we have Hawaii Island across the region. Now, there are neighboring islands as well. We have Kiribati, we have Fiji. And when we are looking at Tuvalu Islands, it's basically 9 islands which are present, amongst which 6 are atolls and 3 are coral reef island. Now, it is also known for the coral atolls because these atolls have been formed as the volcanic base which was present here that has gradually subsided. So, the maximum elevation you will find here is not more than 4 to 5 meter. No rivers are present in this particular country, and because it is located centrally in the Pacific Ocean, high sea surface temperature is seen and they have a lot of vulnerability in terms of cyclones. Furthermore, if we talk about this specific country, the economic base here comes from majorly fisheries because exclusive economic zone is largely present here. They are also heavily dependent on remittances, but the agriculture here is limited. Two reasons: as we have understood, there are no rivers, and because of the hydrology and the islands, and saline water intrusion is too much. So agriculture is pretty much limited here. Now, when we talk about significance of Tuvalu, we clearly get to see that this is an important point when we are looking at climate change frontier. As it is a low-lying island, if any at all sea level increase happens, it is clearly visible, illustrated. Coastal erosion is a result, and also salinization. And that is why when we are looking at the life of this particular island country, there is a limit to adaptation that can take place, and it is highly vulnerable because at the end the option would be about relocation and there will be limited resilience which will be left. Now, when we look at from the perspective of international law, we get to see there are multiple challenges of territorial sovereignty which are present across, and the territorial sovereignty is mostly related to maritime rights, because this gives access to resources which are present there. Now, also very significantly included in global climate politics, because when we are looking at common but differentiated responsibility principle, this is a very important case study. It can serve as an example that how loss and damage negotiations can take place, a key actor present there, a lot known for blue economy potential, and mostly caught up in Indo-Pacific geopolitics as well. Now, on this note, I will be leaving you here with a prelims practice question for this particular place, and similarly for all the places that we are going to cover today. So, this is the question for this particular place. Let me know the answer in the comment section. Now, we will be moving to the next place that we are covering today. The next place is Egypt. Now, Egypt has been in news because India and Egypt are advancing their defense cooperation at present in form of Cairo meet. So, that is where delegations have met. Cairo is capital of Egypt. Now, when we are looking at this country, the location is very strategic. This is a transcontinental country. That means this country is present across 2 continents. So, which are those 2 continents? When we see here, we get to see it is clearly part of Africa. But when you see across this Sinai Peninsula, this is part of Asia. So, Africa and Asia, this is a transcontinental country. It has access to 2 major seas here. One is Mediterranean Sea and one is Red Sea. You can see the coast is present here as well and here as well. It is known for the presence of world's longest river, that is Nile, and the delta of Nile is the most fertile region. You can see, and the bank along the Nile is one of the most fertile regions. Apart from that, if you look in the western area, it has presence of desert, eastern desert, and then we of course have the Sinai Peninsula here. The Nile system is present across the country from south to north, and the fertile delta in Mediterranean Sea is also a very fertile, economically important region for Egypt. Now when we are talking about Egypt, another important choke point across the world is present right here, that is Suez Canal, which connects Mediterranean Sea to Red Sea. Now this provides the shortest connecting route between Europe to Asia, and this is a Suez level canal which is present with no locks. Now furthermore, when we talk about significance, as I mentioned, it is a global trade choke point, the critical maritime route, that is Suez Canal, which reduces the distance between Europe and Asia. If anything at all happens here, if you remember last year there was some disruption, mechanical disruption in Suez Canal, it led to a disruption of multiple global supply chains, enhancement of insurance cost, and also price rise. So certain expectations are tied up to this. Furthermore, it is tied up to hydropolitics. If you are looking at GERD issue, that is basically the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The issue here is if this dam builds, the 70% of water flow in Nile would be affected. That means affecting the water security and agriculture in Egypt. Apart from that, the strategic location of great significance here, it is located at the cusp of Africa, Asia and Europe, plays a very important role in red security, and Egypt also pops up as negotiator, mediator in multiple diplomatic fronts. When we are looking at regional politics, it has huge influence, as I said, plays important mediator in West Asian conflicts. Economic dependence, major resource, if we look, it gets from canal, the tolls it earns, the tourism, and economic activities concentrated in agriculture. Furthermore, Egypt remains extremely vulnerable to external shocks. Now on this note, I'll be leaving you here with the prelims practice question for this particular topic. Let me know the answer in the comment section. Now moving to the next place that we are going to cover today is Salween River. So when we talk about Salween River, it has been in news because recently it has been highlighted that it has been contaminated by arsenic, which is a heavy metal and affects human, animals alike. So when we are looking at Salween River, first we have to understand where does it originate from. It originates in Tibet. If you look at this given river, the second one which is present here, this is Salween River. Now it flows from Tibet, China, Myanmar, then Thailand, and then it drains into Andaman Sea. The length, one of the biggest, 2800 kilometer. It is a largely free flowing river. That means dam construction on this is very much limited, and it constantly runs parallel to, you can clearly see, Mekong and Yangtze. There are certain deep gorges that Salween forms in Hinduan mountains, and it passes through Indo-Burma region, and also you have to remember Indo-Burma region is known for the high levels of biodiversity. Now furthermore, when we are talking about Salween River, it is ecologically very important because it is one of the last undammed rivers. Can you tell me in the comment section which is one of the undammed naturally flowing river present in our country? I had covered it in the last places in news. You can go and watch that. Now this river is also known for maintaining the natural sediment and also the biodiversity cycle because it has been not anthropogenically interfered with. Now this is where it brings the conversation that should we focus on the conservation of river or the development of river, because there is a lot of hydropower potential present on this river. Apart from this, Salween has always been in news because of the transboundary issues, as there is no comprehensive river treaty. It crosses multiple countries, but the advantage, riparian advantage, remains with the upper stream country, that is China. Very important from the lens of human geography as well. Indigenous community are dependent on this untouched, undammed river and the ecosystem that comes with it. Now leaving you here with the prelims practice question, then we move towards Indian places that have been in news. Now let me know the answer of this in the comment section. Moving towards the first place that we are going to cover today is Lower Lake. Now Lower Lake has been in news because there has been ecological degradation which is happening. Now this lake is present in Bhopal and it is part of a bigger wetland, that is Bhoj Wetland. Bhoj Wetland, which has a Ramsar site tag. It includes Upper Lake and also Lower Lake. So you can see in the given image here, we have Upper Lake here and Lower Lake here. This lake is present on the Malwa Plateau fringe. So when you look at the Deccan Trap region, and we also get to see the basaltic geology just across this lake. This is clearly associated with Betwa River Basin. Many of you might think that it is associated with Narmada Basin, but it's not. When we are specifically talking about Lower Lake in this context, it is an artificial freshwater lake which was created for urban water needs across this city, that is Bhopal. When we are talking about Lower Lake, we also have to understand the inflow that comes to Lower Lake is urban stormwater drains and any spillover that happens from the Upper Lake. And that is also done artificially through proper causeways and canals. There is no major natural inflow that happens to the Lower Lake. That is why Lower Lake shows semi-closed basin characteristics. As I mentioned, directly linked with the Ganga system via Betwa, not linked with Narmada river system. So remember this for prelims, and when we talk about the significance, it is an urban ecosystem example that how services work when we are talking about a wetland and water body, how it helps in flood control, microclimate regulation. As we just saw that Lower Lake is in news for ecological degradation, this is where eutrophication and excessive nutrient are causing environmental concerns, not just for this lake, but other lakes, wetlands as well. Plays a very important hydrological role of groundwater recharge, but the problem here is because it is an urban wetland which is present, the management here is complex and protection here is limited, but degradation is at a much higher pace. Now moving for a question on this topic, let me know the answer in the comment section. Now the next place that we are going to cover today is Amer Fort. High Court has issued notices to the elephant rides which were happening outside Amer Fort. Now when we talk about Amer Fort, it is located very close to Jaipur. If you look at the district area, it is present in Jaipur itself. It is present on the Aravalli range, one of the oldest fold mountains which are present across the world. So if you look at Amer Fort, it overlooks Maota Lake, and this is present in a semi-arid climate zone in Rajasthan. Now when we are talking about this fort, it is built on steep hill slope, and that is why it is giving a natural defensive advantage. This is not just a single fort, it is a whole fortified complex, hill complex that exists, which includes Jaigarh Fort, which is connected to this fort via underways, underpasses, and then Nahargarh Fort, which forms the whole defense chain of this very region. So this is a fortified hill complex which is present. Now when we talk about this particular fort, it also becomes important to know who made this fort. This fort was made by Raja Man Singh I in 16th century, and if you look at the architecture of it, you will find that not just Rajput but also Mughal Singtic architecture is seen. Key important structures and monuments in Amer Fort: Diwan-e-Aam, Sheesh Mahal, which is a mirror room, and then we have Ganesh Pole as well. When we are looking at this place, it becomes significant because this is a very good example of defense military strategy, because the elevation gives defense advantage. The water management for a semi-arid climate zone, a very good example. Architecture wise becomes important from the perspective of history, art and culture, and definitely how this is a key hotspot for tourism economy, which supports not just the city but the artisans which are also present there. Now moving towards a prelims question on this particular topic, let us look at the question here. Let me know the answer in the comment section. The questions are fairly simple. If we have looked at all the things that we are covering here, I think you will be able to answer them very easily. Now moving to the last topic that we are doing today is Annamalai Tiger Reserve. Now Annamalai Tiger Reserve has been in news because elections are taking place, and when we are talking about Tamil Nadu, Forest Department is ensuring that for tiger reserves, such restricted regions, the elections are happening there as well, and the spirit of democracy remains alive. So when we are talking about Annamalai Tiger Reserve, let us look at the location. As I mentioned, located in Coimbatore and Tirupur district of Tamil Nadu. It is where Western Ghats end in the south. So it is part of southern Western Ghats. If you look at the Palakkad gap, which is present, a break between Western Ghats, this is where it is closely located. Now when we are talking Palakkad gap, Nilgiri hills in north, and then we have Annamalai hills in south. Now because this tiger reserve lies in Annamalai hills, it goes by this very name. This terrain is not just about steep slopes, it is also having deep valleys and some plateau-like highlands. Apart from that, when we are talking about this very region, it is very important biogeographically because of its location in Western Ghats, which is a biohigh-diversity spot. Apart from that, Palakkad gap, which is known for a differentiation zone. So when we are talking about Nilgiri hills, and then this gap which ensures the connectivity between Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and then we have, so this is where differentiation zone, it cuts down. What exists here is different and what exists here is different. Variety of forest here seen: tropical evergreen forest, moist deciduous forest, and solar grassland ecosystem is also seen in high altitude. Now when we are talking about significance of this region, this becomes all the more important. It is not just a biodiversity hotspot, high endemism is seen. That means multiple species are endemic to this region. This also serves as a important corridor where gene flow is maintained, for be it for elephants, tigers. A very important source for major peninsular river is present right here. Can you give me example of rivers which are sourced close to Annamalai Tiger Reserve? And as a hilly forested region, serves as an important carbon sink and for rainfall regulation. Now on this note, leaving you here with the last prelims question for the day. Let me know the answer in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.